Welcome to the Tuesday, December 17, 2024 Cabrillo Unified School District Governing Board meeting. Roll call, please.
Kimberly?
No. Here.
Carmen?
Here.
Lizette is not here yet.
She will be here shortly.
Mary Beth? And Sophia is absent today. We have quorum.
Thank you. Please stand for the pledge. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
That brings us to the administration of oath of office by the superintendent.
Can you turn your mics? Just
What's that? Oh, turn on the.
Thank you.
This is the same oath that the governor takes. I just want you to know. So I will make a statement and repeat after me.
Together?
Together. You guys raise your right hand. I state your name.
Pete Cernecka.
I, Brianna LaFontaine,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do
solemnly
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will
support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California.
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Will we sign these?
Okay, I'll take that.
You can
from
take
you.
it.
Very good.
There you go.
We'll take that from you.
Okay, congratulations.
You're going to go to 3.0.
3.
3A, election of governors.
Next item is the election of governing board officers to serve from December 2024 through December of 2025. When you say something else?
No, we just need someone to nominate a board member for presidency, but per our board policy, we have the rotating system,
Okay.
but we need a
We
nomination.
need a motion, a nomination.
Somebody.
Yeah, like,
I'll nominate Carmen for president.
Okay.
do you
Carmen,
take-
oh, go ahead.
Oh, do you need a second?
Do you accept the nomination if offered?
Yes, I accept the nomination as offered.
Do we need a second?
I second.
Do we have any other nominations for president? Hearing none?
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Passes 4-0.
Very good. Okay. And now we need a motion for vice president? not here yet.
I'll nominate Lizette.
I'll second that.
Why don't we postpone? Lizette is on her way, and we expect her in just a moment. We can go back to that item if we need to.
All right,
And then the clerk. Mhm. Oh, that might be her now.
oh, perfect
Oh,
timing.
just in time.
I just
Lizette, you have
nominated,
been nominated for vice president. If selected, are you willing to serve? Yes? Okay, very good. And we had a second? We had a second.
All in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Lizette, are you voting? Okay, passes 5-0.
Congratulations, Vice President. And now we need a nomination for the clerk. And I think, Pete, you're in line. Mm-hmm.
I'll nominate Pete for clerk.
I accept.
Second, I was gonna second. Oh,
No, you are.
All in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Passes 5-0.
Okay. Carmen, we'll go down to 4.
Oh, so item 4, Secretary of the Board, and that goes to,
Typically the superintendent.
all right, I nominate the superintendent to be our secretary.
And I don't think I have a choice
Oh, you
in this
don't,
matter.
sorry, sorry.
But it does require action.
All right, do I need a second? Right, yes.
I second.
Anna, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. This item passes 5-0.
All right, we're on to item 3.5, authorization of president, vice president, clerk to the governing board and secretary as signatories, and/or secretary as signatories for the governing board. Do I have a motion? Do I need a motion? Motion, please.
So this has to do with the ability to sign on behalf of the board, so, and in their current role. So it's a secondary approval for signatures.
A second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, please say no. Passes 5-0.
All right, we go on to 3B, approval of the schedule of regular governing board meetings for the year of 2025 and revision to board bylaw 9320, meetings and notices.
Very good. Members of the board, you'll see in your packet, there's a governing board meeting schedule for 2025. We continue to meet on Thursdays as we have, with the exception of the first meeting in January. I had mentioned that to some of you. We're using a new computer system, a new software for putting our board packets together. Anytime we choose to use a new system, and we're required to do that because our old system is no longer supported, we're concerned about being able to put together our board packet so close to New Year's. So the proposal is to move that board meeting a week later than would be typical to give us a little bit more time to learn the system. So everyone who downloads documents, it's a pretty complicated system to put a board packet together seamlessly. So we ask that that board meeting be a week later, but all the rest are all listed on Thursdays. Typical. Yeah, I think April because of spring break. There's a few that are not the
second
or third, but they're all on Thursdays.
So motion to approve?
Second? So moved.
And I'll second that.
Comments or questions?
Yes, I just wanted to make sure Thursdays was okay. I thought.
Lizette, I think you had a change in your schedule, right? You used to not be able to do Thursdays, but now you can.
So I rotate every year, and I had another position which I was off by 5, and now it's changed. So starting January, I will be off on Thursdays. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Thursdays works for you? Okay. We voted on that?
And do we love 6:30? Just
We can change it. I think it was also due to traffic.
Yeah,
and-
we were doing 6, but then you went back to work that day. Can you do?
I'm
mean
not,
earlier,
I'm gonna
Brianna?
be off, so we can do earlier.
And that means you're working Friday morning?
No, I won't be.
okay. So you don't have to do it.
Are you thinking earlier, Brianna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
just
I agree. I mean, our meetings are long.
late. Yeah.
Well, not lately.
How does 6 o'clock work? Is that better? Or are you
I-
thinking earlier than that?
I like 6.
That's
Or-
fine.
6?
Can you get here, Pete?
Okay, so we have an amended motion
Yes, please.
for 6 o'clock start.
Yes.
Motion for a 6 o'clock start. Do I have a first?
So moved.
All right. Okay, I'll motion it.
Second.
Okay, Carmen first and Brianna second. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Passes 5-0. Now, because we are changing the time, changing the location, we are proposing to move meetings to the library. We need to amend our board policy. And
Just a
we-
question on that. I'm fine moving, but why are we moving? Or what was the
A
thought?
couple of reasons. This room has very bad acoustics. And the camera's over here, and if you see behind my head, there are cages. And it conjures up an image of whoever's in this seat with cages behind them. It's a hard room to understand people because the acoustics are so bad. And directly across out that door is another room that is equal in size, but much better acoustics and lighting.
And
So-
we
And
originally,
there's no cages.
wanted to go there, but it was they were fixing the roof and we couldn't, so that's how we ended up here in the first place. And it was COVID, so we wanted a bigger place.
So it's really about the comfort of the room and the space to accommodate a meeting, and there's still plenty of room for seating. It's a big space. Okay? And the board bylaw, it's required to put the location of the meeting in our bylaws, and the day, Thursday, and the time. So this modification just modifies our board bylaw.
I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Go for it.
Second?
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Passes 5-0.
We're moving on to 3C, designation of the governing board representative to district-created committees and other committees/commissions for the year 2025.
Yeah, so members of the board, you have in your packet the list of assignments that have been used in the past. Some of these committees meet more regularly, and some of them seem like they never meet. So this is an opportunity to get involved in one of the various committees. You can see the list here is quite lengthy. So we can just go down the list if you want to look at ones.
I have paper cup. It's not, the projector is not working, but I have paper cup.
I'll take a paper copy.
Are we trying for 2 people on each committee again?
Uh-huh.
And then
So I can, uh-huh.
is there a possibility to add a committee?
There is. In fact, we're proposing that we add a committee.
Oh, great.
And that committee, if you, Peter, right at the bottom of that, see in yellow, that's the one we're proposing.
That's the committee I wanted to add. How about
Okay,
that?
good. So
Okay.
that's the Capital Projects Advisory Committee. That was the one?
Yep.
Jen,
Okay.
sorry, I didn't think.
And I can also tell you who was on the committee this year, on each committee. All right.
You want us to speak up if there are committees we'd like to be on?
That's a way to do it versus just going down the list. I would be inclined to just go down the list and see if we can talk you into taking these committees. So the first one is the San Mateo County Committee on School District Organization. I don't think that meeting
I think it meets once a year.
once a year?
And we usually do 2 people, so we have a backup if the person on it can't do it.
Okay, so that was Kim and Carmen. Are
And
you
that is
interested
usually
in-
the board president.
Okay, and Vice President? Lizette, are you willing to be the backup for a meeting that meets once a year?
Yes, as long as I'm not at work or I know ahead of time, I can do it.
Okay. That's excellent. All right.
Do you want to put Pete instead? Or you want to do it? It's up to you.
But didn't you just say they meet once a year?
I don't know, it's up to you, Liz. No pressure.
Okay, so next, we have the Career Technical Education Advisory Committee. It was Mary Beth and Sophia.
Can you explain these and so just so we can get,
I was-
next few.
Fortunately, we have Leticia here can give a little brief. This is the Career Technical Education Advisory Committee.
So as per policy, any district or secondary serving students with career tech ed position, opportunities, we are required to have a committee made up of community members, board members, students, and I believe they meet twice a year?
Well, there's also a lot of other, like the ag people have meetings.
Yes, and so
So-
so it's not
or-
only the committee meeting, so we
Correct.
we have a thriving ag science committee, ag science program and pathway, and we actually had the California State Board of Education president come and visit us, so Mary Beth and Sophia did join us in a tour, and so proud of our students and our staff that were able to host us. So it's multiple layers. We do have a couple of mandatory meetings, but there are also optional meetings that may pop up throughout the year related to career tech education. So we can't really, I can't define right now the number of meetings, because again, when the California School Board Association president wanted to come and celebrate and see the amazing things happening with the Green Achiever Award that we received, that created a committee where the representatives did join us to walk through the program. But I would say an average of 6, maybe, Mary Beth, since you were part of it?
Yeah, probably. It's not too long. It's pretty interesting. I was thinking about it for, new people on it. Might be kind of interesting, especially, high school stuff, since you don't have kids at the high school yet. I don't know. I thought it might be interesting for one or both of you to do, but, it's up to you. But it's kind of interesting just to learn about the stuff going on at the high school, the ag program and all that.
How many committees do board members typically sit on?
As many as you want.
So if you just divide it up, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 committees. That's 24 spots. Some of them almost never meet, and some meet more often. So it's 24 spots. There are 5 of you. So it's 5 committees. You don't have to have 2 members sign up for some of these committees. We just do the best we can. We understand everyone's got work schedules and kids and people are busy. But we want to make sure this opportunity is available to you.
And the other thing about going to the CT and the ag stuff is, a quarter of the kids at the high school are in the ag program. So it's a pretty big, thing at the high school. And there's a lot of CT stuff going on, and they're putting pathways in, and, there's a lot going on with it, so.
I have a
So
question.
right now-
When do they meet?
It's late in the evening, and it depends, probably like 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. And it's, again, there is about 2 required per CT programs. The California Department of Ed, we have to meet with various stakeholders. It's part of a committee. And then, like Mary Beth said, we have multiple pathways. We're trying to grow visual arts and performing as our pathway. We're growing a computer science pathway. I mean, we have 25% of our students enrolled in our ag science program. That's probably the largest program that we have. but it is growing, and so we would invite you to any state or local or important events. We would also invite you, but again, the only requirement are the 2 meetings per year that are late in the evening.
And then sometimes Lisa Longacre, we had like one about the construction pathway and, you know, some local guys coming that could take kids out on little field trips and stuff. So, you know, just depending on what's going on.
I'd be interested in signing up.
Okay, Lizette? Anybody else? Career technical education. Going once.
I mean,
Go
I'll sign up for every committee, so I just, if we're,
Okay, so we
Yeah,
have
go for it,
two.
it'll be interesting.
Lizette and
So-
I'm in.
Brianna, that's great.
okay.
The City District 2+2 Committee, I'm not sure that that's been very active recently.
It hasn't been, and it's been talked about starting it up again, and usually it's the president and the vice president.
Mhm.
So I guess it wouldn't hurt to have it ready, and if
Okay.
it starts up.
I am interested in sitting on that one if we wanted to deviate from
Okay,
the.
very
yeah.
good. So Pete and anyone else, City District Committee? Lizette, very good. CSBA and Legislative Action Representatives. So that's kind of a statewide representative, if you're
I'm in.
interested. Okay,
I mean, I
Brianna?
don't want to step on anyone's toes, but I will.
Anyone else?
We'll all speak up, don't worry about
Mhm.
it. Like, we'll fight you if we want.
One volunteer there, just one? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty important, actually, you know, that's our county school board and, you know, and legislative action, so it's a pretty big deal, especially for a poor school.
Okay, Mary Beth?
I guess I'm
Very
signing up.
good. You sold it.
You know what, I go to
Okay.
most CSBA meetings anyway, and I'm actually our delegate for this region, and so I'm gonna try to get y'all coming, so.
Perfect. English Language Learner Advisory Committee? English Language Learners.
Do you want me to explain that? It's a committee, again, mandated by the state for any district that has 15% or more English learners. We meet 4 times a year. We rotate to different school sites. We have a list of mandated topics that we are required to share to our community of English learner families. Meetings are typically 6:30 to 8 p.m. And of course, if we ever need any advice from the governing board or the representatives, we would include you, but typically it's only 4 meetings per year. We try to match the dates with the site ELAC dates as we rotate, so most of the time they'll be on Thursday, but sometimes Wednesdays.
Any volunteers? Carmen?
I can volunteer for that one too.
All right. We have,
You can't show up because we can't
Pete and
have more than
Carmen?
2 board members
yeah, you only
there,
have
so-
2. If you have 3 board members,
Yeah.
it's a board meeting. If 3 of you are in the same meeting, by definition. Yeah. Okay, environmental sustainability.
Similar, it's Environmental Sustainability Committee has some of the ag pathway topics that we were discussing. Environmental sustainability meetings are all virtual. We meet 4 times a year. They're about an hour and a half, depending on the teacher's schedule. I have a question. Do the committees restart the academic year or calendar year? That's a question for Jeff or Rosie.
They would start immediately.
Immediately,
This is
okay.
the- uh-huh.
Right now, they're in the evenings, virtual, an hour and a half, run by high school students. And we review some of the goals and achievements from our Green Ribbon Award. And we, this year, have 3 goals, so we talk about the goals. We invite leads in the area that we're talking about. Yes, that's a fun committee.
Environmental sustainability.
I've been on it for a few years, so I can roll off if you guys, it's also like kind of learning how things are working, so.
Lizette? You're shaking your head like yes? Oh.
I'm good with that one.
Okay, Brianna, anybody else? Just one. It's okay?
Can you just speak on
On my-
can you speak on your microphone so the people on TV can hear us?
There you go.
Thank you.
And Lizette. So
Novice.
Brianna and Lizette? All right,
Do
budget,
you want to, or you're good?
budget advisory committee?
I would like to be on this one.
I would like to be on this one too.
Okay, does that work for everybody? Brianna and Pete? Latino Roundtable DEI Committee.
We've had the Latino Roundtable in the past, and per the strategic plan, the goal this year was to merge and expand the Latino Roundtable to an everybody roundtable for, to focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. With a shift in leadership, we paused, but we do want to start the school year with this committee. I've already talked to some of our team members, and we also have migrant education, immigrant families, and our at least Latinx community has said that the same people are attending multiple meetings, so that hence the purpose of the DEI, where we group LGBTQ, all our significant subgroups, LGBTQ, Latinx, Hispanic, Latino, English learners, special education students. So we would bring a representative group to look at the equity data and the recommendations from the strategic plan. And again, this meeting will probably start off similar to the previous, 4 times a year, about an hour to an hour and a half each meeting.
Leticia, are you suggesting we should amend the name of this committee just to remove Latino Roundtable and just leave Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee?
Yes, thank you for summarizing that.
Okay, DEI Committee. Volunteers?
I'm all in.
Brianna,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, no others?
I
Okay.
can do it.
And Mary Beth? PTO Alliance, PTO.
I'm interested in this committee.
Okay, Pete, anybody else?
I mean, I can discuss it too.
Okay.
But I
You-
Wrench, as as of tonight, a former PTO board member, we're in transition on this alliance, and I'm hopeful that it will continue. But it's normally in the mornings, and so there is a restriction to a lot of people.
Mhm.
But if no, I will also do
Okay.
it.
Terrific. Pete, very good. San Mateo County School Boards Association. School Boards Association for the county, that's kind of a, sometimes board president.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Carmen?
Yes,
well,
yes.
that's actually what I'm the delegate for.
Yeah, so
not
you wanna-
CSBA, so
You want to continue in that
I
role?
guess I should continue. Although, well, yeah, I mean, I think we should, there's a lot of dinners and stuff that we should all go to, and we can all go to those
So that
things.
one we can all go to.
Yeah.
You can, you just can't talk about district business.
Okay.
So
but
you
we-
are, as a board, allowed to convene together.
Mhm.
You just can't talk about district business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't care if I'm on a named person, but I would like to attend these.
Okay,
meetings.
Well, why don't you put me and Brianna on it?
okay,
Yeah?
very good.
Pete, do you want to do it? Or Lizette? Sorry.
Yeah.
You want to do it? Oh, I can. I guess I don't need to be on it to be a delegate.
I'm
I'll
just
go.
saying I would like to go to the meetings, so I don't have to be one of these named ones. Or it's all of us because we're all allowed to go, right? No.
Not for
Okay.
this one. This is only 2 people that can come.
No, she just said we can all go to these meetings.
To the dinner meetings.
But the association is just representatives. The dinners are for all school board members in the
Put
county.
me on that because I'm a delegate. So, I mean, I need to go at those
Got it,
meetings.
okay. So I can go to dinners,
Yeah.
not regular meetings.
Carmen, are you comfortable with that? Okay,
These meetings are there?
they don't meet
A
often.
lot, yeah, not very often, but a lot of times they'll do the meetings before the dinners.
Okay,
it's
so I
kinda
gotta
all
pay
in one.
attention to those emails.
Yeah. I can speak to the Board Policy Review Committee. So, board policies are reviewed regularly by CSBA. Samples are sent to us. One of your primary roles as board members is to update board policies so that they're consistent with the culture of the place and consistent with the law. We have a lot of board policies that are out of date that need to be updated. So I meet with two board members. We go over them, we review them so that we bring them to the board. We can say, oh, 2 of you have already seen these. You've given it a first pass. And we usually do that at just a time that's convenient for the 2 of you, whoever those 2 people are. It's a great way to learn about policies and what the law is. And it can be a little painstaking because you're behind. So we're going to get caught up. So there'll be some stacks. Is that? Okay.
I'm in for that. I like
Okay, very
those.
good. Thank you. It's fun.
Ugh.
And then finally, the Capital Projects Advisory Committee. Thanks to the voters, you passed a large bond for the high school. You're going to see a presentation in your January board meeting getting this process started, but board participation is key. We want to have 2 board members that we can meet with out of this setting to go over the projects, to give you a sense of what's happening, what's moving forward, so that we meet in this kind of setting. Those 2 board members can speak intelligently about the projects.
I'm interested.
Anybody else?
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you. That's even more fun than the Board Policy Review Committee.
For that committee,
Which one?
the,
Board policy?
No.
Oh,
the
capital projects?
Capital
Uh-huh.
Projects Committee, that will be larger than just the board. Like, can we get some community members involved in that committee?
That's an interesting question.
Like-
It kind of depends on, like, the 2 people that are on the committee could ask that the public be involved in whatever it is that we're working on. But the public will be involved as a matter of course. So when you hear the architect come, they'll talk about programming and how we invite people to meetings. We review plans together. There's a real transparency in the process. So it kind of happens automatically. And if it's not happening enough, Pete and Mary Beth can say, hey, why don't we, go do a thing at the high school and invite people. So it's really a board-driven process.
Okay, like if we had staff included in the conversation beforehand about capital projects, I
Yeah.
think that would be.
You'll feel, you have a much better understanding after the architect presents at your next board meeting, and he'll go through the programming process. So there'll be a series of meetings for teachers. We'll meet with the science teachers and say, okay, let's look at science labs. What do your labs look like? What facilities don't you have? And then we'll meet with the art teachers, and then we'll meet with PE teachers. So
I mean,
yeah.
so I get that.
Mhm.
We're going through 2 projects right now, and I will say that's not how it really felt.
Okay,
So
uh-huh.
I just want to make sure that people there are more than us that have a really good say and knowledge about capital projects before they're being done. that
Excellent.
It seems like they should be involved.
Important point.
You sure?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so if it doesn't happen, you should get on Pete. He's the guy. Okay, we've got all the committees represented? Okay, nicely done. This was the one, capital projects.
So let me just go over this. San Mateo County Committee on School District Organization, Carmen and Pete. Cabrillo Technical Education Advisory Committee, Lisette and Brianna. City 2x2 Committee, Peter and Lisette. CSBA and Legislative Action Representatives, Brianna and Mary Beth. District English Learners Advisory Committee, Carmen and Pete. Environmental Sustainability Committee, Brianna and Lisette. Budget Advisory Committee, Brianna and Pete. The DEI Committee, Brianna and Mary Beth. Parent or PTO Alliance, Pete and Brianna. San Mateo County School Board Association, Mary Beth and Carmen. Board Policy Review Committee, Lisette and Mary Beth. And the last one, Capital Projects Advisory Committee, Pete and Mary Beth. So now we need a motion and a second.
So moved.
All right, I'll do a second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Those
Aye.
opposed, please say no. This item passes 5-0.
All right, we're going on to 3D, review of annual remuneration, reimbursement, and other benefits of board members.
Very good. Members of the board, it is at the discretion of the board to receive a monthly compensation for board members. It's proposed to go up each year to follow inflation. So what you see here is the remuneration increase to $277.83. Okay? And if you go back to the cover page, it shows what the remuneration has been in prior years. That's a board decision.
That's this year, and next year, if you approve the 5%, it's gonna be 291 and
Oh, I'm
72
sorry.
cents.
That was this current year's amount. Okay?
All right, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Discussion?
I just wanted to give some background
Okay.
on this. Go ahead if you want. So, or maybe you're better to give background. So we used to not take pay, and then Lisette brought up one meeting that it really wasn't fair to people who might be, needing to put a kid in childcare or, whatever to come to these meetings. So then we changed after that because we realized we weren't really being fair to people that, might need that money to be a part of this. So we changed that. So that's why you really only see those increases back the first few years, because for many years they didn't take any and there was no increase to it. So, and that's also why it's low, but I don't know, add whatever you want, Brianna.
I don't know if 5% is like, if that's standard or whatever, but I would like to mirror what staff is doing, so we do not see more than what the rest of the staff is getting normally.
It's government code, 5%.
Is 5%?
Yep.
Okay, thanks for
And
answering.
also, we missed a ton of years upping it because it wasn't being taken. I don't know how many, but I know a lot. So
Okay.
I don't know how we compare to others in the community.
So we could not take the 5% if we wanted, I mean, that's
You
an
could not,
option.
this is
But if
at
you're gonna do a
discretion.
bump, it's gotta be 5. Got it.
Or you could take nothing, or, I mean, there's a lot of discretion here. There are some boards, I will tell you, I'm on a school board and there's no remuneration for that, strictly volunteer. And then there are other boards where board members get medical benefits, full medical benefits. It really ranges depending on the board, and it's really up to the culture of the place and really the individual. You're not required to accept it.
Want to make clear too is that we can accept this, but individually, you don't need to take it.
That is correct.
Per person, which I don't believe is public either. So.
Okay? And if you'd like, you can bring this back to the next meeting. That's another option, if you'd like to think about it. So you have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? Okay.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the 5%, and you can vote or not vote. And then if you decide, if the item doesn't pass, then we're gonna need another motion to postpone or propose another thing. Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. This item passes 5-0.
Sorry. We are moving on to item 4, governance matters, board discussion on governing board new business.
So this is an item on the agenda that has been on the agenda. I'm not accustomed to having it on an agenda because there are other ways that new business can come to the board. And I would actually suggest that you move in that direction in the future, just by emailing me and Carmen with new business. That's a cleaner way to do it than this. But this isn't, historically, you've done it this way.
Did we do it for even the whole year? Not historically. Kim started that maybe halfway through the year, I think.
Okay.
Or maybe the last 4 meetings or something.
And it was requested I put it back on this agenda.
So then the idea would just be, if we want something on the agenda, we would just let you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
that's-
let Carmen
Sure.
know. So I will meet with Carmen and probably Lizette before every meeting. Here are the items that have come in. Let's talk about it.
Got it.
Here's the order. I do a sample, and then they approve it. So you would, if as a board member, you want to put something on the agenda, you would email the two of us and say, I'd like to talk about Robbins.
Got it.
And we would put it on the agenda. If for some reason the agenda is too full, I get back to you and say, hey, Pete, it's really full. Is this time sensitive? Can we wait a month? Okay?
That's all.
Yep.
Well, do we need to discuss?
You don't. Yeah. I don't know what this next one is. Kim put this on. I'm not sure what it is.
It's
Oh, go ahead.
operations, how to manage board meetings, opportunities for trainings, things like that.
Can we email you with
It's
that?
just a discussion, yeah, it's
You-
the same for the,
You can,
same
you
as
can
the
email
other.
me about that too, and you'll have board reports at the beginning where if you'd like to mention it at that point, you can mention it at that point. In an interest of shorter board meetings?
Is this where we talk about changing the order of board reports and,
We would do that in agenda setting. Okay. Yeah, uh-huh. So the order is actually very important, the order in which you hear items. You might have a guest here that has a class the next day, and you want to get back, so you want to have that at the beginning of the meeting. You might have a building program that other people don't want to hear about. It's just more mundane. You put that at the end. So I'll have a recommendation, and you guys can change it. Okay?
I think going back to the item that Kim, I think if I recall, she was trying to get more like time for the board to kind of, I know it was a lot of, like, what would you call them? Study sessions. So I think that's where, like, she was really trying to advocate for, like, more study sessions, because I think it is important for us to discuss and be transparent in the questions we ask regarding all the items. But I think there is also time where, because of the Brown Act, we're very limited on, like, if I know that you and Carmen are in a committee, Mary Beth, and it's like sometimes I don't know, I don't even know what to ask. So sometimes just having like study sessions, I think that's where she was coming from, just depending on the topics or
That's a really good point.
or what's happening.
So I'll give you sort of the protocol in other school districts. So you have your regular board meetings, you have one a month. Many districts have 2 a month. This is great, 1 a month. And then you have special board meetings, and this is one, and you can hold as many special board meetings as you want. You have to post it ahead of time, 24 hours, and you can have a special closed session, or you can have an open session. And then you can have study sessions. So if there's a particular topic that is timely, you want to discuss, a single item, the high school renovation, for example, and you want to bring in the builders and the architects, and you want to do a 4-hour, let's get down and dirty with the high school renovation. And maybe you even want to hold the meeting at the high school and tour the place. That would be a study session. It's a special board meeting, and you can schedule that. So you have a lot of flexibility. You might want to have a special board meeting on, English language learner instruction, or, whatever. You just pick the topic. You can sit down and have a study session on it. You can also do a governance study session. You're going to talk about how the board functions and bring in a consultant or a facilitator and talk about, how do you get along with each other and how topics get brought to the agenda and what to do with a parent complaint that might come to you, basic protocols for the board. So you have a lot of flexibility in how you agendize your time together beyond these one board meeting a month agendized regular board meetings.
For these types of meetings, is it possible to have ones where we can be more interactive with the community and not just public comment and we can't comment on it? No.
Yeah, you can. You can have, in a board study session, you can have a more conversational environment. You can do that.
Okay, if that's like,
would listening sessions, are you talking about like a listening session? 'Cause we've,
Listening session's a little different because then you've got dialogue, which is a little different, and then you'd have to agendize it. But you could do that. You had listening sessions with just 2 of you. Yeah, so those are non-agendized.
okay.
In other words, they don't fall under the Brown Act because there's only 2 of you. But there's quite a bit of flexibility on how you schedule things. Okay?
We need to motion this one, or no?
No, neither requires a motion, they're just discussions. Placeholder.
Looks like we're moving on to item 5, closed session. Let's see here. It says identification of closed session topics of discussion, 5C below. Let's see here. Oh. Do I need to read this?
No,
Okay.
it's a time for public comment on
All right.
closed session items.
All right, time for public comment on closed session items.
So the board is going to be in closed session to review one item is public employee appointment. Now we do the comments. There are no comments.
Hearing none.
So can we, item 5D, we're going to adjourn closed session and, oh, sorry. My bad. C, adjourn to closed session.
Yeah, so we're gonna.